Well, guys, I've gotten several emails and quite a few comments asking me how to prepare for something like what happened in North Carolina. The flood that came through and wiped everyone's homes away, their infrastructure away, took a lot of lives, and people want to know how to prepare for something like that. And to be perfectly honest, preparing for something like that is just about impossible, because that is one of those things that happens, that's never happened before, and no one would suspect that type of flooding in that location. But yet it happened. Really, in that type of situation, the only thing you can do is bug out. But even then, those people had no idea what was going to happen. That was going to be so severe, going to be so bad. They really had no warning. They were there. They knew a hurricane was going to come through Florida and come up that way. But it's happened many times before, and they really had no idea what the result was going to be for them where they were. So extremely difficult to prepare for, because you have to have prior knowledge. Really, the only thing you can do in a situation like that would be to bug out. And like I said, most people didn't know what it was going to end up being. So it's very, very difficult. I don't blame anyone in that situation for not bugging out, because they can't see the future. But now we have seen what can happen. So we know now that bugging out is really, in certain situations, is really the only and best hope for survival. Just like right now, there's a massive hurricane, going to be a Category 5, going to hit Florida again here tomorrow, I think at around 2 o'clock. And people has had prior warning. They know what's coming, and the best option would be to bug out. That's why you need to have a bug out plan. All this bug out plans we've heard about in the prepper community for years, running to the woods to survive economic collapse, is a bunch of bullshit. Bugging out when you know a natural disaster is coming, or someone's coming after you, some force that you can't defeat, bugging out is then really the only option. And you need to be able to bug out very quickly. And if you can have your family where they have practiced bugging out, you need to be able to get out as quickly as possible. If you see something is happening, if you see the flooding is happening, it's getting worse, and you can bug out quick enough to get away from it, to go uphill, to get on the high ground, that is an option. But you need to be able to do that very, very quickly. And your family needs to know exactly what to get, where to get it at, how to load it up, where to go to, where to meet up at, in case you have to bug out to, protect yourself and to save yourself. But a lot of people won't bug out because of property. They know that if they leave, or at least they think, and it does happen sometimes, that if they leave their property unattended, that someone could break in and steal their property, that the storm could take it away, that their animals could die. If they have farm animals and things, but you can't hardly, it's difficult to take, all your chickens with you, and all your horses, and all your cows, and all your cattle, and things like that. If you have a farm, dirt bike passing by, he's been going, noise. I hate noise. He's been going back and forth here for the last 2 days like that. Now, where was I at? I lost my train of thought now. Let's see where I was at. Bugging out. Your family needs to know where to bug out. If you know a hurricane's coming and you have several days notice, you should board your windows up, board your doors up and everything, get everything ready the best you can. And if you have cattle and things that's there, if the hurricane is bad enough, or a natural disaster is bad enough that it accidentally kills your cattle, you couldn't save them no way, because you're there. If it's that bad, they're going to die anyway. And more than likely, but you're not bugging out, you're going to die also. You'll die right there with your cattle, or your horses and your animals. That's the rough, crude facts of the matter. If things are that bad and you don't bug out, and it's bad enough to kill, your cattle and your horses and things, your goats and your pigs, more than likely you will be dead also in that disaster. So Sometimes you have to make tough decisions, and bugging out sometimes is the best option and the only option. Load everything you can up in your vehicles and take off and get to safety. And if you know a hurricane is coming, like I said, like a Category 5 towards Florida, if it were me, I would board my house up, I'd board the windows up, get everything out in the yard put up that I could that wouldn't be blown away and blown, into someone else's house or whatever, and do what I can, what I could, load everything up, load everything that was important up in my vehicle, get, your documents, your family photographs, food and things like that you need to live on for a few days, your expensive investments, and move those into your vehicles and leave. Go to a motel away from the disaster area or where it's going to hit at. Go to a motel, stay a couple of days, watch it on the news, and hope that God, protects your property, protects your animals, but know that you did the right thing by bugging out. That instance is when bugging out is extremely important. And if you know where the high ground is at, even near your property, and like that flood, and you could get out in time to get to the higher ground, you might save your own life, and not perish. And you have to look at, where you build your property at. My house here where I am is going to be extremely difficult to flood, actually. If you look down here, straight over the hill, all the way down through here, and it's all the way down this way, it's over the hill. I mean, it would have to come, I don't know what it'd have to come to flood me out up here as far as a flood goes. But I guess anything is possible. A lot of people didn't think, in North Carolina, it's going to happen to them, and it did. So, bugging out is really the only option. Have a bug out plan, have everything already ready to go, know what you're going to take your priorities with you, and as long as you are alive, you can rebuild back. Or if everything is taken away, maybe you can sell the land and go somewhere else and build back. But if you're dead, if your family's dead, if your children are dead, because you stayed, didn't bug out, you can't build back. It's over. It's over for you besides, going to heaven or to hell. Because a lot of people just want to hear about heaven, but there are two places, heaven and hell. And depending on if you've been saved or not and how you live your life, depends on where you go. So that's something to think about. Just because you live a good life and do good, don't mean you're going to go to heaven. You have to be saved. You have to go through the Son to get to the Father. If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, according to Christianity, that's the whole basis of Christianity, is believing in Jesus Christ, getting saved by the blood of Jesus Christ from the cross. That's the only way to go to heaven. So anyway, it's a kind of off topic. That was something I wanted to throw in there. The only way to the Father is through the Son, according to Jesus Christ himself. But bugging out, there's no shame in bugging out. A lot of people think, I'm going to be tough. I want to stay. I'm going to fight this thing through. I'm going to fight this floods, these hurricanes, and these tornadoes or whatever. But sometimes bugging out can be an option. Don't be ashamed to bug out when needed. And sometimes that's the only thing you can do in certain situations, is to bug out. And even then, sometimes you don't have the chance till you don't know that it's even coming. It just happens overnight. Pow, there it is. And you have to hang on and hope for the best, hope you make it through, because you didn't have time to bug out. They had no prior warning. But a lot of times with these natural disasters like these hurricanes and things, people have prior warning. So take heed of that prior warning and use that time to gather up your things, your important items, board your home up, and leave. Go rent a motel, go to a relative's house, go somewhere besides the main area it's going to be hit where you live at. Go somewhere else, wait, and hope for the best, and then come back and clean it up. If you can clean it up, or sell the property, sell the land, move somewhere else, or rebuild. But at least you still have, your life. You didn't lose your life. When you lose your life, then this life here on earth obviously is over. That's important. You want to stay alive. Your property, what I'm saying, your property isn't worth risking your life over. You can build back your property, hopefully, but without your life, you're not going to build back anything. And it might not even be you. You could make it, but one of your children could die. Your spouse, you know, could die. A family member because you didn't bug out. And you have to live with that yourself because you're left still yet alive. And by your decision not to bug out, they perished. And you'll blame yourself forever for that. You had a chance to bug out, but you didn't. You decided to stay and see what happens. And you lost your son, your daughter, your family member because of your decision not to bug out. If you liked the video and agree, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching in the Creekmore Matter, and I'll see you on the next video, hopefully.